Hello ladies, Miss Linda here. So let's talk about the power of feminine seduction energy. Now, Camilla Parker Bowles is now the hype. If you followed her story, she started off as King Charles's um, girlfriend, then became mistress, then became the queen, no wife, and then the queen. Now, if you look at her ascension, this has been quite an extraordinary path. And it really got me thinking about just the power of feminine seduction energy. And this is something so many women are really not yet aware of because women have made men over time and time again. Women have inspired men to do the most incredible things. If you think of Taj Mahal, that was built for a woman. If you think about everything that exists on this earth, whether it's beautiful cars, beautiful homes, all these fancy clothes, so many men are usually inspired by a woman to greatness and to really, most of the time, to be able just to gain her love. They go out of their way to do the most amazing things. And seduction is a skill that not everybody has. And to be honest, it is a learned skill. One thing I've come to realize as I've watched Camilla's journey, as I've read about it, is that at the core of it, she is a seductress. There's so many women who are with men, married men, by the way, and they could be mistresses, they could be side chicks, but they don't even get close of what Camilla is getting. They cannot even claim anything close to even what some of these men's wives are getting. When it comes to seduction, it's really, really about inspiring a man to be able to do amazing things for you. And it is a game that's two-sided. It takes time, it takes patience, and the greatest thing of all is that it does take mental skill. And growing up, for the longest time, I never felt classically pretty. I was always around babes who are lighter than me, who are pretty much very different from me. And that forced me really to develop my personality. I eventually became such a bookworm, and it was so interesting because men just naturally used to gravitate towards me. Now, back then, I had no idea that I was seductive. For quite a long time, I used to use like a lot of mental games to be able to captivate men, and I always, by the way, captivated any man I wanted. Any man I desired, I always got. And it was until later on it got me thinking that, oh my goodness, I, I would have prettier friends, but most of them would end up being played over and over again by men. And when I sat down to really think about it, I realized the differences between my really good friend and myself was just seduction and just how to use the mind to be able to captivate a man. And it does entail a bit of mind games, to be honest, because if you think about some of the principles of seduction, first, never be forceful. What does that mean? You should never make your intentions very clear or very, very, known from the beginning. And so many women make this mistake. They put it under the guise of, oh, I don't want to play games with a man. I want to get straight to the point. Or I want him to know my intentions, or I have no time for games. No, seduction is a game. It is a game. It is a mental game. And the fact that you're taking your time to get to know somebody, that also means that you are also taking the time to pay attention to someone else apart from yourself, and you are taking the time to uncover what this other person is all about. Now, going back to Camilla, for a woman to be able to keep a man that interested, and by the way, she was even with King Charles even before he married Diana, and even throughout their marriage, I remember watching one of the documentaries, like the very first time when Diana found out that King Charles was still seeing Camilla, and it was the most devastating thing for Diana. And Of course, if you look at the two of them, their looks are so different. I mean, even age-wise, if when I looked at Diana's, I love Diana, but what I saw was a princess kind of an archetype. When I look at Camilla, I see a woman who is seasoned. I see somebody who knows, who understands herself as a woman. Whether, and it never mattered that she was older, it never mattered how she looked, she was still able to keep the man interested in her. So when it comes down to seduction, and even when I speak with many of my private clients, one of the things they always ask me is, Linda, how do you seduce a man? And I always say it starts with you knowing yourself. Once you know who you are, what are your strengths? Because there are various archetypes when it comes to seduction. There's some women who are naturally very book smart, so they have that nerdy seductive appeal. I tend to have that because in the day, technically, I'm always in glasses, so I am a nerd, so that's a seductive archetype. There's some women who are plain, outrightly very, very, very sexy. Like if you think of the Kim Kardashians, that's how they lead their seductive persona. So there are various archetypes that you can think about. And when I think about Kim Kardashian, I also think about Zari. Princess Zari also has that very siren kind of like archetype, which is outrightly very, very like curvaceous, like you just see body from the get-go. So there are very different types of personas, and where also women go wrong is when they try to fit themselves into a certain box. So maybe your seductive archetype is you are a nerdy kind of seductress. However, you try to fit yourself into a personality like Kim Kardashian or Zari. The thing is, once you know yourself, you're able to be confident in who you are, and that on its own is very seductive because so many women are too insecure to play up their personalities. So, as I mentioned, the first principle is never be forceful. It is always about taking your time to uncover somebody. Yeah? And then also using the element of pleasure. People love pleasure. If you look at like your day-to-day life, you're going to work, you're paying bills, you're always tired. If somebody comes into your life promising you pleasure, play, fun, joy, they automatically become so seductive because honestly sometimes we are too tired and too lazy to seduce ourselves. So somebody who comes and is like, oh my God, a breath of fresh air, and they're doing all this beautiful stuff for you, they're charming you, and they're making you feel so good and young and vibrant, automatically they start to become very, very seductive. So pleasure is such an addictive thing, and that's why, by the way, so many married men sometimes end up going to mistresses because a mistress is like an escape from your normal day-to-day life. Okay? So the first principle, never be too forceful. Second, use pleasure as bait. And then the third, very powerful feminine seduction technique is to keep an air of mystery. Men love mystery. If you present yourself like an open book, that is so, so boring. What will keep him coming back for more? What will keep him thinking about you, dreaming about you? And I remember there was a while back, this girl was so crazy about me, and this was before I got married. And I didn't know, I just used to do this subconsciously. You just give him, you pay him just enough attention for him to notice you, but you just never fully satisfy him. And this is really, really important to do, especially when you're still getting to know somebody. And even when you're in a relationship with a man, if you still want to keep him chasing you, you have to still maintain that air of mystery. Like he should never really feel like he fully understands you. Yes, in a relationship, there will be times where, of course, like things will become dull, things will settle into the normal routine. But from time to time, you have to reseduce each other, and that's why in one of the Indian playbooks, Zika Masutra or something, they talk about the lovers' quarrel. And this is a very, very powerful piece into the seduction game because when two people quarrel, think about it, breakups to makeup. Think about the makeup sets, what somebody has to do to get you back. That whole process is usually very, very seductive and it makes the man chasing you. So, If you're interested in working with me privately, I offer one-on-one coaching, so check out details below. And especially if you're interested in getting your man back and making him love and commit to you fully and easily, I'll be able to help you. So speak soon and bye.